This chick says men with no kids act like some stuck up.
Okay, so since no one else is going to speak on the topic, I'm going to speak on the topic.
All right.
A man with no kids versus a woman with no kids is completely different. No kids act like stuck up. I swear to God, men with no kids are sassy as hell. Mind you, I'm also a woman with no kids. Okay. I am a woman, don't have kids, never been pregnant, none of the foolishness.
Okay.
But it seemed like when I talk to a dude with no kids, all of a sudden it's a broom stuck up his. He got his nose turned up in the air. Mind you, I mean, in 2024, if you're not a baby daddy, you know it's real rare. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. But also, I'm also a woman with no kids. I may be considered rare as well. And I don't act like that. I don't give a, I mean, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? So when a dude be acting mad stuck up, like he's untouchable because he ain't got no kids, it's like, boo, tomato. Because I also don't have kids. I feel like you would be considered rare or like upper echelon, or you could be considered top tier for not having kids only to men and women who have children. I'm on your same level, buddy. So it's just like, I just be experiencing the most weirdest things because I don't give a damn. You don't have kids. Yay. Like, that's something for you to pat on your own back. You know what I'm saying? But to put those type of, like, but to act like stuck up and all that, it's just weird. Men with no kids act like females. And I want to know, women, have y'all ever experienced that? I don't want to date a man without kids. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have at least one kid, 1, 2 max, I really don't want to talk to you. I do not want to talk to you because of how they act. Y'all act like how a woman should act. And maybe a woman with no kids is also stuck up. I don't know. But I am a woman with no children, and I don't act like that. And I'd be damned if I talk to act more stuck up than me.
You know what's crazy? You know what is wild, bro? That you still can't make this shit up. That you still can't make this shit up.
Put that coffee down.
That is crazy.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
A woman with no kids saying that she strictly only dates men who have at least one kid because men without kids are too stuck up for her. What do you think about that? So first, let's assume that what she's saying is true. Why do you think that men with no kids are more stuck up, right, than even with women with no kids? Comment down below. I'm gonna give you guys my take here after this response. Let's check it out.
With no kids act like stuck up.
They both do. They both do, and they should. Any man that gets to a level in life, especially past 30, and does not have kids, has his life somewhat together, you know what I'm saying, should be stuck up. Why not? You are not a statistic that is prevalent in your neighborhood, in your community. You are not part of the, you know what I'm saying, I got a baby daddy, you know what I'm saying, I'm a baby daddy, I'm a baby mama, you know what I'm saying, like, you got to deal with this extra baggage of this other person in our lives if we get into a romantic situation. Yes, they should be stuck up. They should understand that their market value in the dating situation is initially going up.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Like, if you're mad at the fact that you're not being chosen, because that's a real issue, is because men that don't have kids, especially past 30, and have their life together, when they choose not to be with you, you get in your feelings. Y'all getting your feelings about a situation you shouldn't get in your feelings about.
Let him brew.
Because at the end of the day, they made right decisions by, you know what I'm saying, moving correctly. And because you feel like as if either you have a kid or, you know what I'm saying, you feel like as if you should see me as a prize as well, you want to devalue that person by saying homophobic viewpoints by calling him a B, which to me is trash. To be honest with you, this is the thing at the end of the day. If you are not being picked by the men that want to pick you, if you're not being picked by the women that you want, accept it and understand that you are jumping above your range. Live within your range. If you are a baby...
Stop it, bro. You know they're not ready for that coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
No way.
Mama that got 2 kids, you should be dating a man that got 2 kids. If you have no
Damn.
kids, you should be dating a man with no kids. And if they choose to be stuck up and think that they're better than you because you got 1 kid and they got none, that's a part of life, folks. That's a part of life.
Yeah.
If you can't accept it, cry about it. Buy some bonbons, buy some ice cream. But jumping on the internet and calling them stuck up bees,
Right. Right.
nasty work.
Nasty work.
Nasty work. Like, share, comment.
My
Tell me what you
guy.
think.
Right. Listen. His coffee, at least in this subject, is a little stronger than mine. And you know what? The man's speaking facts. I look around and I see people all the time who one person has a kid, a man, and a woman gets with him and she has no kids, or vice versa. It happens. But back to the topic at hand. Here's what we're talking about here. Why are you men stuck up who don't have kids? He just said they need to be stuck up. And I agree with that. Shit. Let me be honest. Let me be vulnerable. When I was dating, had no kids. I was stuck up as hell. It's one of the questions you can't wait to ask when you're out on a date or, your text messaging, depending on how you met the chick, right? Dudes without kids can't wait to bring that shit up, especially if you're older and you know most of the chicks around you have now suffered the consequences of going after the fun guy, and now it's not so fun anymore because you're 2, 3, 4 kids. I don't know how bad your life is, but based on personal experience, I guarantee you these men cannot wait to get to that topic. When they don't have kids, they can't wait for it. If you don't ask it, they'll bring it up. If you don't ask it, they'll bring it up. And some of them are just waiting for it. She'll be like, so, do you have any kids? You're like, nah, no kids. No, short answer, short and sweet. Don't make it sound like you couldn't wait to answer that question fast, not slow. And she might respond with, oh, okay. What about you? What's happening with you? And maybe you already saw the kids on her Instagram and you don't care. Maybe you're one of those guys who doesn't care. But you want to ask anyways, just because you want to get the satisfaction of hearing her say it. Well, I've got 6 little angels. You're like, 6? Oh, shit. I saw 2, but you can't say 2. At that moment, you already know what it is, bro. You're like, put that coffee down.
Put that coffee down.
Here's my thought. I think that when it comes to women, it's a different type of situation, because if you never had kids, then there's a question of, can you still have kids? Right? And even if you're somebody who's like, I've decided I don't want children, cool. You're allowed to live the life you want. There's still that stigma when you tell a man that, women are insecure about that. They may still want a relationship with a man, but I've decided that children aren't for them. Society in general looks down on women and also men who make that choice. You see it all the time when you see people say, oh, how could you be 40 and not planning to settle down or not planning to have kids and a family? It's just how people look at things. Myself, again, I think you get to choose the type of life you want to live. As long as you're not out here creating a bunch of broken homes, I don't think there's really any issue.
With no kids act like stuck up.
She ain't all the way lying, but listen. Hear me out. I done said it so many times on this app before. Half of me being unsuccessful on the dating scene has come down to kids. Right? Like, I'll meet great guys. I find them attractive. I like them. And then boom, he got kids. Right? Every time, without a doubt, anything I like, it be having kids. And it seems like dudes who don't have kids rarely ever approach me. I rarely ever get approached or sought after by dudes who don't have kids. But the men that do got kids, I don't know what it is about y'all baby daddies to be wanting to turn me into a stepmama, but it ain't gonna happen, right? I do not want your baby daddy. But they be bothering me, right? And so that be the problem. I don't want no man that got kids. But the men who don't have kids, I never get along with them. It just be something about their personality that I just can't get with. I don't know if it's an arrogance that they carry because they think that they God's gift to earth because they made it however many years without a child. But the personalities be sucking. It be so bad. And it be like, I'm supposed to be just so happy that I met a man who don't have kids, that I'm supposed to worship the ground that you. No, you're going to get treated just like everybody else. And I think that really be the problem. And I heard somebody else say that women who don't have kids be having that type of arrogance about them too. I'm not even willing to dispute that. I could possibly have an arrogance about me too, but guess what? I can't have no dude and we both on the same page about the arrogance. Like it's just not gonna work, right? So I say all of that to say she ain't lying. Is that all dudes who don't have kids? No, I'm sure there's some very nice dudes out there that don't got kids. I ain't never met them, but I'm sure they exist.
Really, Dana? Really? Never though? Never's a strong word. All right, so let's move on.
Right. With no kids act like stuck up. I swear to God.
She's mad. I can tell you why. A lot of women hate a man who knows his value, who knows his worth. If that man went 25, 30 plus years without having a child or children, why would he settle with a woman who has children? Now, don't get me wrong. If a man wants to do that, it's no problem. It's your life. Live it. But if you ask me my advice, I'm going to tell you as a man, don't be with that woman with children if you don't have a child. Why play dad when you can actually find a woman with no children and actually start a family and be a dad? Anytime a man don't agree with what women say or don't act like a real man, by their definition, they have one tactic and one tactic only. And that's shaming you. Because it's not like they can beat your. So let me shame him. Let me shame them into doing what I want them to do. And the weak men will fold by their shaming tactics. But a headstrong man who really stand on his beliefs don't care what nobody say. Don't care about the shaming tactics. At the end of the day, you just got to let a woman talk because that's more times than not what they're going to do.
I think it's crazy to assume that men who don't have kids, even though I just pretty much validated that, but it's never to the top, to the point where you just can't get along with that person, right? But I do think there's some bragging rights there. There's some bragging rights. Now, should you be feeling yourself to the point where, you think you walk on water? Of course not. I don't think that's what people are talking about overall. I think it's closer to what the guy who just spoke said, where they just can't stand to see a man who's not going through the same shit they're dealing with. Or they're used to guys who are going through some shit with like a baby mama and this and that. Number one, because those are the type of men who they find highly attractive. Because we can't forget that there are more men who are childless, even in the Black community. That's a fact.
With no kids act like stuck up.
Y'all be so pressed when men have standards. All of a sudden, when you'll come across a man that like knows what he wants and he really not up for the games and the BS and the emotional abuse, y'all be so mad and pressed talking about, oh, he's sassy, oh, he got a broom stuck up his. No, he just don't want to deal with what you're trying to bring to his life. People fail to realize is the more goals you accomplish by yourself, the more you realize you don't need people. Let me say that again. The more you do by yourself, the more you realize you don't need nobody. So why am I going to deal with the woman's BS behavior and or deal with something that doesn't make me happy? Biggest thing of them all, so many of you are so used to being praised for how good you look, and because you popping that kitty cat, guess what?
Right.
Sweetheart, this man in his early 30s, he been doing the do since he was 17, 18 years old. It's getting old now. He actually wants something that's going to mean something now. And guess what? Some of you not worth the damn. So he could care less about you. I'm sorry, men have been lying to you for years, talking about, oh my God, you're the best thing that has ever happened. You just wanted to hit. That man was lying.
As always, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Comment down below. I know I have a lot of guys on here who don't have kids. I have some guys that do as well, but I know I have a lot of guys who don't have kids. So I look forward to checking out your comments and your responses. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.